Okay, so for tonight's homework, tonight's all about building equations or writing an equation, all right, not just solving. Okay, we need to be able to solve equations, but tonight it's more about building them as well because they will not always be presented to us as an equation. As you can see up here, our examples that we're looking at are all story problems. So we got to be able to go from a story problem to an equation, and then once we get it established, then we'll worry about solving it. In class today, remember we discussed the two most important things when it comes to building an equation is that you have a variable, and then number two, all of the equations we looked at in class, each of those gave you the answer. All right. Those were the two things we discussed in class today that go into building an equation, must-haves, if you will, for each of your equations. So if we look at number 4 here, Kiara came in third position with 80 points in a PSP game. The first place winner scored 150 points. How many was she off the lead? Okay, so number 1, we need to establish a variable. And again, what letter you choose doesn't really matter. But for this problem, if we want to do K, all right, you can use K for Kiara if you would like. You can use L for lead if you would like. You could use B, whatever. Okay, it really doesn't matter. But we're going to use K. All right, and as we mentioned in class today, the second thing is we need the answer. So that requires equals. Now what we have to decide then is which one of these is going to come after the equal sign. And the first place winner scored 150 points. That would be our total. All right, so we want to get to 150 now. So where do we fit in the 80? So would that be points plus 80, points minus 80? We kind of go through in our head which one we like. All right, do we want to do plus 80, times 80, minus 80, or divided by 80? We really only have 4 choices. Okay, so which one of those apply here to get to the 150? Okay, plus 80. All right, Kiara plus her 80 points should get to 150. So that's the first thing we want to see tonight. You've built the equation. All right, once we get it built, now we fall back on our solving strategies. That means we want to solve this thing for K, which means we do our inverse. All right, which remember means do the opposite. So we're going to subtract 80. We're going to apply that rule to both sides. We're going to subtract 80 from both sides. Bring down my equal sign. Over here now, 80 minus 80 cancels out. So all we have left is our K equals 70 points. Okay, build it and then we solve it. All right, build it and then we solve it. Okay, look at another one here real quick, number 8. All right, Sarah has chocolates in her bag. Her sister has 80 chocolates, which is 4 times as many chocolates as Sarah has. How many chocolates does Sarah have? Okay, so again, if we want to look at solving this, all right, if we want to look at solving this, first thing we established is we need a variable. All right, we'll just go C for chocolates. That's the variable we're going to use, and we need an answer. All right, and it looks like 80 probably going to be the best choice for that. So her sister has 80 chocolates. So here's my equal sign. All right, if we're going to build the equation, we need the answer, so we're going to go with 80 as our answer. Now our other number is 4, and we got C as our variable. Now we even get a nice context clue in this one right here. 4 times, all right, 4 times. So there's our context clue. It's actually telling us to use times. It wasn't as obvious in the previous problem, but this one is. So 4 times C equals 80. So bam, that's step number 1, build it. After we get it built, now we want to solve it. This is where our rule falls in to do the inverse. So we're going to divide by 4, the opposite. I'm going to apply that rule to both sides. 4 divided by 4. Bring down my equal sign. In front of my equal sign, the only thing we have left is C. Over here we have 20 chocolates. Okay? That's pretty much it. All right, building it's number one, and then we want to see you solve it. But really focus on being able to write these equations tonight. If you have any questions, bring them to class tomorrow. Have a good night.